So Zhiyun or Zhiyun have just released the Weebill S. And if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, is it any good? Well, to save you some time, I personally think it's probably the best gimbal on the market right now, at least the best small gimbal. So the Weebill S is a successor to the Weebill Lab, which I have right here. It fixes honestly, these legs. Okay. So the Weebill S is a successor to the Weebill Lab, and it fixes some small but very important changes. I've been using the Weebill Lab for quite a while now, and I've made a few videos on it, and I can safely say that the Weebill S fixes every single issue I had with the Lab. So I just wanted to go through what's new, give you my opinion on the gimbal so far, and show you some test footage. I can't do a proper review yet because I've got to test it on a few professional shoots first, but that'll be coming somewhere down the line. So let's start with the build. The Weebill S is pretty much built exactly the same as the Lab. It might be a couple of centimeters taller, but it's not really a noticeable difference. I love the design of these gimbals because they're so small and they're so light. Really great for traveling, and the underslung mode makes it really nice for those sort of low angle shots. All this stuff made the Weebill Lab my go-to gimbal for quite a while, just because I love the design of it. And in the Weebill S, they really have taken everything that was good about the Lab and improved on it. So the motor torque has apparently been increased by 300%, which makes these motors a lot stronger, and you should be able to balance heavier setups now. Currently no official info on the payload. It's actually blank on the website, but maybe this is a good thing because I know the Weebill Lab got a lot of stick for advertising a higher payload than what it can actually handle. There's also a lot more room on here, so you'll be able to balance your 16 to 35 G master, your 24 to 70 G master, and you can keep your eyepiece. So the plate on the top remains exactly the same. It's still that Manfrotto plate with the Arca plate inside, which is fine, but I'm always using the quick release plate on top. The great thing about the Weebill S is it can handle the Manfrotto RC2 quick release plate, which the Weebill Lab struggled with. One of my biggest gripes about the Weebill Lab was the screws on the bottom that you had to unscrew to adjust the tilt and the roll axis. These were quite fiddly sometimes, they would come off, they would break, and so now they've been replaced on the S with these levers. These levers are just so much easier to use. You literally flick it one way to loosen it and flick it the other way to tighten it. It's a small thing, but it really does improve the user experience for me and makes it a lot quicker when it comes to quickly rebalancing. The lock switches on the Weebill S have now changed. On the Lab, they were these horrible lever things which kept getting knocked and locking while I was filming, and now they're actually proper switches, and they're really quite sturdy, so they do take some effort to switch it into lock mode and unlock mode, and I really like this. It makes the experience a lot better. So the Weebill Lab had the transmitter attached to the bottom. You lose this on the Weebill S, but you can buy it separately. So the handle design is pretty much exactly the same, apart from the go button on the Weebill Lab has been replaced by a function button on the S. The difference here comes in the screen and what you can do through the menus. So on the Lab you had to connect it to the app to change all the settings, and it got really fiddly. On the S now you can change most of the settings straight from within the gimbal. So on the S you can now change the motor strength, the deadband and the speed of the movement straight from the screen without having to open up the app. Talking about the app, it has been simplified considerably. When you open it now, you're straight into the movement of the gimbal. Even moving the gimbal around is slightly glitchy at times, but there's nothing that can't be fixed with an update to the app. You also have the new force mode, which again is okay if you're going to use it. I personally wouldn't use it for much, but I like the way they demonstrated it in the marketing, where someone's got it on a crane and someone has used the force mode to sort of move the gimbal around. Honestly, I've now used the Crane V2, the Crane Plus, the Weebill Lab, the Ronin SC and the Aircross 2, and the Weebill S is definitely my favourite gimbal to use already. So let's take a look at the footage. Now, this isn't straight out of the box footage. I did change the settings a little bit. They're not what I normally use, but I wanted to change them to make me more comfortable before I went out and shot for the first time. So overall, some really good footage with the Weebill S there. I do need to sort of change the settings to match what I used on the Weebill Lab, but considering it's almost straight out of the box, I think it looked really nice. So to wrap it up, I don't want to jump to conclusions because I've only been using it for a few days, but I already know this is going to be my #1 gimbal that I'm going to be carrying around, and also that I'm going to be recommending to people. The price tag is quite similar to the Aircross 2 and the Ronin SC, and there are some reasons I'd go for the Weebill S over them two. Speaking of that comparison, I'll be comparing the Weebill S to the Aircross 2 very soon. Alright, that's going to be it. You know what to do. If you've got opinions or questions, leave them in the comment section down below and I'll try and get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this, including the Weebill S versus Aircross 2 comparison. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.